Have you ever done that thing where you pick up your phone just to check one tiny thing, and then boom, you look up and half an hour has just vanished? Where does that time go? Well, let's get into it because I'm telling you, it is not an accident. It's actually by design. It's an entire economy built around capturing one thing, your focus.
Right? This feeling is so universal, and it's really the perfect place to start because it helps us understand this world where our attention has become the most valuable and honestly the most hunted resource on the planet.
So to really get what's going on, we have to grasp this huge economic shift that's happened. I mean, the rules of the game have totally changed, and the most precious thing out there, well, it's probably not what you think it is.
And here's the wild part. This quote is from 1971. Yeah, 1971. Herbert Simon basically predicted the future. He saw that once we have a ton of information, the real problem isn't finding it anymore. We're practically drowning in it, right? The real scarce resource, the thing that's truly valuable, is our attention.
So this is it. This is the core idea. The entire business model of the modern internet isn't just about giving you stuff to look at, it's a relentless, minute-by-minute competition to capture and hold on to your focus. Because in this system, your attention, it's literally money. You can see the shift so clearly when you put it side by side like this. You know, we went from a world where the big challenge was just finding information, to a world where the challenge is trying to filter an absolute flood of it. Value isn't just about having the data anymore, it's about being the best at keeping people engaged.
You know, we all know that old saying, but we really need to update it. It's not that these platforms are free. They're absolutely not. We're paying for them every single day with the one resource we can never get back, our time and our focus. That's the real currency exchange happening here.
Okay, so how do they do it? How are these platforms so incredibly hard to put down? Let's pull back the curtain and look at the engineering and the psychology that's happening just behind the screen.
So none of this is by chance. These features are literally precision-engineered psychological triggers. Think about it. The infinite scroll, there's no bottom, no natural place to stop. Autoplay videos, the next one just starts without you even having to think. And the pull to refresh gesture? That's basically a digital slot machine lever. You pull it, not knowing what you'll get. That's called an intermittent variable reward, and it is one of the most powerful hooks in psychology. It gives you just enough of a little win to keep you coming back for more, again and again.
Let's look at a really specific example. TikTok's algorithm isn't some kind of dark magic, it's just math. Every single thing you do is given a weight. And look at this, just watching a video all the way to the end, the completion rate is often way more important to the algorithm than a simple like. The system is constantly calculating in real time what it needs to show you to keep you glued to that screen.
And all of this creates this incredibly powerful feedback loop. The more you use it, the smarter it gets at figuring you out. Every scroll, every time you pause on a video, every share, it's all data that refines your digital profile, making the next recommendation even harder to resist. It's a system designed to learn you better than you know yourself.
Okay, so we've seen the tech, but why does it work so darn well on us? Well, the answer isn't really in the code. It's in our own brains. It's in our biology. Let's look at how all this tech taps right into our basic human chemistry.
I mean, wow, that's a really intense metaphor, but it's also incredibly accurate. Dr. Lemke is saying that the way these apps deliver little rewards, a notification, a like, a new video, it's so fast and direct that it bypasses our rational thought and hits the exact same pleasure pathways in our brain as addictive drugs.
And here's the really crucial part. What happens after that little high? Our brain is smart. It adapts to those constant little dopamine hits by basically turning down the volume on its own receptors. So when you finally do put the phone down, you're left in what's called a dopamine deficit state. That feeling of restlessness or anxiety or just feeling kind of blah, that's the neurological crash. It's real.
And on top of all that, this whole system taps into a really primal, powerful human fear, the fear of missing out, or FoMO. We are social creatures. We're wired to want to be part of the group. Social media basically weaponizes this by creating this constant nagging feeling that something amazing is happening somewhere else and you're not there for it.
And this isn't just some vague feeling. It has real, measurable effects. Research shows a direct link. The more FOMO a person experiences, the higher their reported levels of anxiety and depression. You can see right here how it's become a major issue when it comes to student mental health.
So the consequences aren't just personal, inside our own heads.
This entire attention economy is fundamentally reshaping whole industries and has a very real, very tangible cost to society.
I mean, just look at the numbers. They're pretty stark. While online platforms saw their ad revenue shoot up by 67%, traditional news outlets actually saw theirs drop. The attention economy is literally draining the financial lifeblood from industries that depend on us being able to focus deeply.
So what's your attention actually worth in dollars and cents? Well, economists have this method called a shadow price, which basically calculates the opportunity cost of your time. And using that, they estimate that the value a typical TikTok user puts on their time spent on the app is almost $5,600 a year. That is the value of the time you are paying with.
So when you start to add it all up, the fallout is huge. You've got doom scrolling, where algorithms can trap us in cycles of negative news. Studies are showing it's literally weakening our ability to concentrate. We've already talked about the links to mental health, and it has real-world economic impacts, like thousands of jobs lost in journalism.
Now look, understanding all this isn't meant to make you feel helpless. Actually, it's the opposite. It's meant to be empowering, because once you can actually see the system for what it is, you can start making real, conscious choices about how you interact with it.
This comparison is just so powerful. George Orwell in 1984, he was afraid of an outside force controlling us with pain and censorship. But Aldous Huxley in Brave New World, he feared something different. He feared we'd be controlled by our own love for pleasure, for entertainment, for distraction. And in the attention economy, the danger isn't that they're going to come and ban the books. The danger is that we'll be too busy scrolling to even want to read one in the first place.
And this, right here, is probably the most important thing to take away from all of this. If you feel addicted to your phone, please know it is not a personal failing. It's not a lack of willpower. You are a human being with a normal human brain going up against a system designed by an army of the world's smartest engineers whose entire job is to produce that exact feeling in you. So the first step isn't about having more discipline. It's just about having this awareness.
So when you see the whole picture, the economics, the slick engineering, the brain science, it all comes down to this one final question. Knowing that your attention is your most valuable currency, and knowing there is an entire global economy designed to mine it from you, how are you going to choose to invest it?